Hello, my name is Serrano Keith Baldew, and welcome to Texas Justice Review. I want to talk to you today about getting sued. So you're minding your business. Oh, somebody that's in a lawsuit already. You got sued. So you open up the mail or something comes in the mail, and what's going to happen is going to be like this. It may be in an envelope, maybe folded. And you open it up and you see a citation. And it's going to say, certified mail, and it's going to have your name, and it's going to have the person that sues your name, and it's going to scare the heck out of you. Your first emotion when you get sued is fright. It's going to send a shockwave through your body and through your entire life. That's what happens when you go to the mailbox or you get a little slip in the mail and they tell you, hey, you got to come and pick up something at the post office. It's a certified mail. You got to sign for it because that's what lawyers do. Lawyers are very nasty people. You already know that. Not all, there are lawyers that try to do good, but they don't make a lot of money doing good in the legal field because you have to work on the tactical stuff. But anyway, you got sued. And it says, here's what it's going to say. This is going to say the state of Texas. It's going to say, greetings. Oh, very nice. From the court. Greetings, right? It's good. You have been sued. You may employ an attorney. If you or your attorney do not file a written answer with the clerk who issued this citation by 10 o'clock a.m. the Monday following the expiration of 21 days after you were sued, this citation, an original petition, a default judgment may be entered against you. And a default judgment may be taken against you. In addition to filing a written answer with the clerk, you may be required to make initial disclosure to the other party of the suit. The disclosure generally must be no later than 30 days after the filing of your answer with the clerk. So you got to read this stuff. Don't be afraid. The problem with people when they get sued is the fright takes over, because what happens to your mind is, I lost. And that's the worst thing that can ever happen to somebody. Stop thinking that way. If you get a lawsuit, or if you're in the middle of a lawsuit and they file another motion or they send you something else, stop thinking, I lost. And here's what I want your mentality to go. You got to go to the judge. The person that governs a lawsuit is not the other side. And there is a judge by the name of Leona Bernard. I had my first case against her with my ex. And they just loaded it up with things that they're demanding and they wanted, and you better sign this or else. And I was a little bit frightened. I was like, what the hell? I mean, she wanted everything in my entire life that I've worked for with this ex is given to her in this stipulation that I am forced, she wanted me to force to sign, or else, I don't know what, you're going to take me to the back and beat me? So I go and I tell the judge and I said, look, they're asking for all of this stuff. That's ridiculous. And she turned to me and she said something very important I want you to remember. They can ask for whatever they want. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. Of course, this judge didn't give me anything because there was a lot of money and she was taken in a bind an attorney and I wasn't allowed to have any of it. So she didn't really live to her words, but it's true to the judiciary. The other side is going to ask for whatever they want. It doesn't mean they're going to get it. So you got to get that mentality. And so when you see this stuff, it's going to look like this. It looks scary, right? Oh, this is about me. I'm going to be dragged into the court system. I'm going to lose. The judge is going to be against me. They're going to be against me. Get that out of your head. Somebody is trying to mess with you and they want to drag you through the system. It's a fight. It becomes a fight at that point. And let me tell you something. They're scared too. They're scared that they're going to lose, and they're scared you might turn this case against them or around to show they're the bad people. So don't think that you're the only one with fear. They've got fear too. So when my friend called me up yesterday, she's got family member in the judiciary, and she was frightened to open up this email because she's in litigation. And I went through a brutal beating judicially with my ex. I mean, it was just motion after motion. Get the cat, get this, get him out, throw him out in the street. Every time, I mean, the phone would beep, I knew it was her and her vicious attorney. And I had to go through that weaning process because I was very fearful. I mean, I had stress, I had anxiety, and I was like, I got stress and anxiety that exists. And I'm from New York, and I'm like, okay, I've traveled. I went to LA, okay. I didn't know about this stuff until, the hardest thing to deal with is somebody that you entrusted in front of God and Christ and your family, and they are just brutal and nasty. And so you get these mixed emotions. Do I want to fight this person? Do I want to? So I went through all of that, and I concluded one thing. Somebody decided to come after you, get up and go fight them. Don't let them do this to you. This is just paperwork. It's something that they want, and it says, yeah, I'm demanding this, I'm demanding that, and they wrote it down, and they made it look fancy, because that's what lawyers do. Lawyers come and fancy this BS up, and then they put all their fancy stuff at the bottom, and then they put all their, notes and phone notes and legal mumbo jumbo, and then you're like, okay, this is not scary. It's one thing. Somebody wants something from you, or somebody wants to punish you for something. And that's how you got to look at this. What do you want from me, and what are you trying to punish me with? And you wrote it in this kind of legal stuff so I can be scared? And so what you have to do is you have to look at the words. Don't look at the format, because lawyers go to law school to do formats and filing and tactics and all that kind of stuff. They don't go to law school, most of them. Do not go to law school to learn how to practice law so they can find the truth. They'll go to law school to practice how to hide the truth, how to manipulate the truth, how to use certain case laws and to trump the truth. And they basically learned how to lie in a technical way. That's how Jesus got killed. It was a technicality. They released one person, but somehow they released two, and they had to vote, which was illegal in the Roman days. But that's what the judiciary is about. It's about entrapping you. It's about getting you. But you need to get to the judge. And so when you get sued, the first thing you need to do is think about the judge. Who's the judge? Go research the judge. You just Google the judge's name, because if you want to know who the judge is, sometimes you just get a case number. And so you take the case number, you call a clerk, or you go into the court system and says, can you tell me to the clerk of the court who the judge is? And they say, because I don't have the case number, it's 23469. They say, oh, it's Judge Monica Purdy. I'm going to use her because she's trying to cost me my election in Dallas, Texas. So yes, you're Judge Purdy. So you Google her and you look her up. She's probably going to run for office. If they're appointed, you probably won't know much. But if they run for office, you're going to know much. If you really want to dig into it, you can do an opens record request for their background, if you got nothing on it, because all the state has to have that. So that's what I do. I research the judge. It's the first thing I do, research the judge. Is the judge political? Is the judge black? Is the judge white? Oh, yes, make a difference. Is the judge connected to some kind of political party? You've got to look at the judge. Forget the other side. The person that sues you, don't even worry about them. They're going to pull all the nonsense that they can to try to make you pay, to try to remove you out of your home, to do all that kind of stuff. You got to focus on the judge. What does he want? What does she want? What is he going to do? What is she going to do? You might be in family court. You might be in probate court. You might be in criminal court. You might be in civil court. Most of the times people are in civil court. You might be in landlord-tenant court. You got to find out, okay, this person is going to mess with me. Because yesterday when my friend called me and she was afraid to open up an email from the people that she's negotiating with. And they sent her this email just out of the blue. And she got a little scared. Why are they sending me this email when we have something else going on? Because that's what they do. They try to get you. They try to do something. They try to get that angle. And you got to get your angle back. So when she calls me, I said, open it up. Open it up, look at it, find out what the heck they did, and you go after them for it. And while I was saying that, she opened it up. And it wasn't as bad as, she thought it was going to be. But that's what, stop getting scared. Get angry. Somebody's going to sue you. And listen, when I went through my divorce, it was tough. I didn't know this. God had you put through a fight so he can make you better, make you stronger. And my divorce was a tough thing because I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to get her away from my life. I just wanted to move on with my life. And she was just bombarding me. I want this. I need this. And it was through her, a nasty attorney, vicious language. And I was like, okay, you want to fight? We're going to fight. And the judge was on their side. And that's what you got to watch. The judge is going to be on somebody's side. 65%, maybe 75%, the judge already knows what he's going to do or she's going to do or not. The rest of the times you got to debate it, which is like an election. 65% of people vote early voting, and then the rest just vote at the end. So find out who the judge is, find out what this court is. And the next thing you're going to have to deal with is it's going to take my time. I got to work. I got to answer this while I'm working. If I'm doing a pro se, I can't afford an attorney, all this kind of stuff. Well, the Texas Bar Association here, and there's legal aid, and then you can apply for help through legal aid if you can't afford it. They didn't help me. They didn't help me because I went after a judge, a vicious, nasty judge called Michael Snipes, and he was just trying to destroy everything and give it to them. I got the worst of the worst. I got a judge that just wanted to punish me because he kept dragging me back into court, and I was emotionally going through this stuff just like you. Where you are is where I was. And it was just the emotional strain. Why can't this nasty woman just get out of my life and give me my stuff? That was my mentality. But attorney was filing, and I was like, oh my gosh, when would it stop? I'm sleeping and my phone pings. Demand for him to come back to court. Demand for this. And I was like, oh my gosh, already. So I went through that for about 8 months of hell because the judge kept encouraging it and encouraging it and encouraging it. And then I found out later that he wants to come back to court because he's got to meet a quota. So you got to know what's going on. He's got to meet a 29-hour quota, and he's got to keep dragging the case back into court so he can meet that quota. And if he does, he gets $114,000. That's what I'm told. So it's a lot of things that plays on in the judicial system. And that's why we created Texas Justice Review, so you can understand that. Don't get scared when you get sued. Read it. Read it as if the person is standing in front of you and they told that lawyer, and they're nasty, told that lawyer, tell him what I just told you, and you put it in all this fancy language so I can scare him. Just find out what they want. What do you want? Well, we're suing you because, you did this. I want a divorce. I contract violation, landlord tenant, you hit me, I'm suing you, I fell, whatever the case may be. They're asking for something, and that's the bottom line. So don't get scared of this nonsense. What's your bottom line? What do you want here in this lawsuit? I want you to pay me $50,000. I want to do this. I want you out of my house. I want you out of my business. Whatever it is, find out what they want beyond the writing that you think is scary. It's not scary. It's just a format. And then they go to the clerk. The clerks who write this, they don't care. It's just a format. It's a format that the clerk writes, and they have to send it to you because a lot of things in the judicial system is formatted. So they format the BS that they want to go after you for. Format it nicely so it looks scary. No, you formatted what they want. That's all you did. So what do they want? That's what you're thinking. What do they want? And are they going to manipulate me? Are they going to lie? Are they going to deceive? Is it really truthful what they're asking for? And are they just greedy and nasty like my ex? Want everything. So I had to deal with this. And so now I am in a fight mode. I'm not in a flight mode. I was. And then I pray a lot and I ask God and I say, how did somebody become so wicked and so evil? A vicious lawyer, a nasty judge. I think he's an old school white guy, 75 years old, from the South. I'm a person of color. She white, lawyer white, he white. So there's a lot of dynamics that you don't know, or it just may be that he's pissed off at me because I told him stop dragging me into court, right? And then he got mad because, they got that chip on the shoulder. That's why I say don't piss off a judge. I don't care. Because I'm in a position as a publisher that if you try to screw my life, oh yeah, I'm coming after yours too. Like the judge who, I'm currently in a case with a councilwoman who lied on her application, and she's on the ballot in the city of Dallas in District 10. And the judge, she tried hard to defend this woman. I've never seen a black judge try to defend a white woman, or a Democrat try to defend an alleged Republican so badly. But there's a lot of money. Just remember, these people running in a circle, same country clubs, same parties, same events, same retirement. So you have to make sure you understand who is who. I don't care to piss off a judge, because I can take them to the appellate court and I can go after their careers. You can't. So you got to pipe it down a bit and see if you can get some kind of mercy. But the thing is, when they sue you, you got to find out, okay, so you sue me because you think I did this wrong. All right, I didn't do this wrong. So I'm going to go and I'm going to prepare one of this. And if I don't, the clerk is going to have some kind of mercy. I don't know how to prepare one of this. What are you going to do for me? Well, how about you just sign it and tell the judge or whatever. And when you go to court, you just tell the judge whatever. I'm going to try in Texas Justice Review to create a template for people like this. So what the template is you just put your name, the person's name, the defendant, the plaintiff, the court, the district court, where it is located, the judge's name, the case number, what you're asking for, then put a line here, a headline. They lied, they tried to miss under this law and section code. And then this is going to be like, and then you can put the styling, which is real easy. But that's because I've done it so many times. But to you, it's going to be scary. Stop getting scared of people dragging you into court. You got to learn to fight back. And it all starts right here. Stop saying I lost. Stop saying I'm being sued, I'm going to lose everything. Stop saying it's going to affect my job, I won't have the time to come to court. Stop doing that. You are a fighter. We're all fighters, and we have that instinct within all of us. If you go out and you've got, in the forest, wherever area, and you see a wolf, you don't run. You look for the nearest stick or stone, and you try to get it. And that's the instincts you need to have. If they're going to act like a wolf or a snake or something, well, people run from snakes, I don't. Whatever it is, don't run from it. Whatever it is, take up something in the law that you have as a stone or stick and throw it back at them. So one of the wonderful things about these times is ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or Manus, and all these other things that are available to you. Don't Google stuff anymore. Don't waste your time Googling stuff. They're going to bring up like 7 things, they won't get it. Go to ChatGPT, go to DeepSeek, right? ChatGPT is going to limit you, DeepSeek won't. And just enter. Sometimes if you get this in a PDF, you can just drop it in and says, tell me what's going on here. And they're going to tell you, well, they're suing you because they said you blah, 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 blah. They're suing you because they want a divorce and they want everything. And he says, okay, well, here's my response. So normally you respond with this, but you're asking ChatGPT, give me a response to this. And they're going to give you a response. Your legal options are, they violated TCP 431.65 by filing an inaccurate motion. And you're like, okay. And they violated section code 278-585. And in the case law of Franklin versus Johnson, they can't do this. So now you got a friend. Okay, don't get scared, because the amazing time that you live in, you can go to AI and ask a question and you'll get an answer. So I don't have an attorney to talk to because they're very expensive in Texas, and I don't have friends yet. I do have in New Jersey, but it practices a different law. So you got to make sure you're ready. You're ready not just for this legal stuff, but for life itself. Life is it's like a wave. You're standing in a wave, and depends if you're in Hawaii, they're going to be 10 foot, 20 foot tall. If you're in California, they're maybe 6 to 4 feet. But it's going to hit you over and over. The legal stuff, the financial stuff, the bill stuff. You're going to get hit after hit, but you got to be ready to ride the waves. Just like when you get sued or any kind of legal battle, even from a parking ticket to anything else, all you got, it's just a simple thing. Somebody says, you're standing across the other side of the street and somebody says, hey, You did this, and you broke that. And then you got to answer. Well, I broke it, and how, and why did it get broken? Was it an accident that it got broken, and I was crossing the street, and maybe somebody, whatever it is, you got to answer, and somebody's going to try to check you, and you got to check him back. That's what life is. And so you got to take your life lessons and put it in your lawsuit, or somebody's suing you. I'm not going to talk about today about you suing somebody else. I just want to talk about them suing you. Don't let it be scary. Get up and fight them. You're going to mess with me, and you're going to put in all this legal mumbo jumbo. So what exactly do you want? That's what you got to find out. What are they suing you for? What do they want? And why are you trying to make us look so fancy to scare me? Okay? You want your car back. You want a divorce, and you want to steal everything, for yourself. And then you got a lawyer, and they put in all this fancy stuff, and we're going to drag you through the judge and put you in jail. I don't care what you want. You're not getting this, and you're not getting that, and you get it because you're a liar, and you're a cheater, and you're a deceiver, and you violated your vows. Let's say it's a divorce case, and you want to get everything after you do all of that. You cheated on me, you deceived me, you never supported me. So you're going to go through your mental stuff, and you're going to start calling off your own stuff. You cheated, you lied, you abandoned me. I was lonely. I was loveless, in a loveless marriage, in a disrespectful marriage. And you might think I'm talking personally, right? I may. B, I know you want everything on top of that. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so you want to fight? Let's go fight. I'm going to ask my friend ChatGPT and DeepSeek and everybody else, give me a response to this. And if I get a lawyer, I'm going to run it by a lawyer. I run it by some of my friends who are pro se, and they went through the system. What do you think? Well, I think you should keep fighting. And that's the answer. You got to keep fighting. And I mean fighting. I had a friend by the name of Manny in New York once, and I used to work at this bookstore, and he used to work in the other section. And I remember this guy, they used to try to con you. So they would take something, a little watch thing, and they'll show you, hey, this is a watch, look at it, it was a watch. And then they would take the watch out of stuff, and they would put it back in an empty box, and they would say, hey, yeah, you don't want to buy it? And then they would, oh man, you stole my watch. Everybody's got a con game. The lawyers got a con game, the other side's got a con game, but you got to deal with it. So anyway, Manny came outside and he says, what happened, Serrano? I said, he said, I stole his watch. Manny walks up to him and says, because Manny knows the trick. He's a street guy, a Puerto Rican guy. And as soon as the guy opened up his mouth, bam, he hits him right in the face, takes him down, he grabs him, put him in the thing, and he tries to punch him. Well, he tried to punch Manny first, and he regretted that. And then Manny's looked at me and he says, why were you scared? I said, I wasn't scared. He says, yeah. You're scared. And I said, he's a big guy, yeah? And you were afraid? And he said, let me tell you something. When you get into a fight, you're going to get hit. It's a fight. You're going to hit, and they're going to hit you back. You're going to hit, they're going to hit you back. You just got to make sure your hit is stronger, faster, and quicker. Not in exact words. I'm just saying what I've learned throughout the years. Just make sure if somebody judicially try to hit you, you get in the game right away, okay? You want to play this game? I got 21 days, okay? I got 21 days to deal with you. Meanwhile, I got to work. I got to take care of my kids. I got to take care of this. I got to do that. I got a wife. I got a husband. I got a business. Forget about all of that as part of your response. Your response is, why are you doing this to me? You could have just gone on with your life. But now that you brought me in, let's see what happens. Don't get scared when you open up the mail, or don't get scared when you have to open up an email like my friend. And don't get scared of anything. You got to learn to fight. And I just went through a weaning process with that. If you're going to lose, you're going to lose. If you're going to win, you're going to win. But the thing is, if you don't fight, you don't give yourself the extra edge and a fighting chance. If you just sit there and you take it, if you just sit there and relax and not do anything, you don't give yourself a fighting chance. Always give yourself, and I'm still learning this, don't sit down and wait. Don't sit down and wait for something to happen. And I just went through a year of sitting and waiting, because let me tell you something. You say this, and the emotions, it's going to get pressured. It's going to, you're going to feel the fear and the fighting this. Fear does not belong in the judiciary. Fear does not. Accomplishing a task to defend yourself does. That's all that matters here. Somebody decide to screw with you, you got to screw with them too. Don't sit there and take this. You get up, you fight, figure it out. Figure out what you have to do. Okay? It's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that you have to deal with this. But the outcome should never be where you just sit there and take a beating from an idiot or a fool or a greedy person or just a nasty spouse. You don't have to take it. Okay? You get up, you dig into this, find out what they want, put it in a system, and you don't need a lawyer for that. But I'm just saying, in the show, I'm not giving you legal advice. I don't give it. Go get a lawyer for legal advice. I'm just telling you the system of your mind and your response to when you get sued. Okay? Get up and fight the damn fight. Don't let anybody do this to you in your judiciary, because the lawyers know, especially when you don't have an attorney, they're going to scare you. That's the tactic, to scare you. I've got a giant law firm, because I'm suing the councilwoman. I want to add this to it, in the district, for lying on her application to be on the city council. Why does this woman have a defective, Kathy Stewart is her name, councilwoman? Why do you have a defective application and you're still on the ballot? So they took 3 lawyers and they sent them into, I'm just going to pause here for a second to get something. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to get this document to show you something. This is my ex's. She's got like this most powerful law firm back to open up back the divorce so they can get a divorce is closed 6 months now and it's in the appeals court. So they can get an order to stop me from suing people because I want to sue the councilwoman. Now, this is my first lawsuit against an individual. All the rest of the litigation has been against my wife, me defending myself against a wife. And a defendant, you got to learn this. A defendant is not a serial litigator or a vexatious person, but they wanted to label me like this, and they got a judge on their side, so they keep trying, but he knows better. So here's what they said. And this is supposed to scare me. This is supposed to get me, you know. While Stacey Marie Ballieu and Keith Ballieu were married, and prior to the parties' divorce, Keith Ballieu had a clear history of filing numerous frivolous complaints against city council members in New Jersey. Keith Ballieu filed over 200 cases. Listen to this. This is how these lawyers are stupid, and don't think I'm stupid. He's filed 200 cases, which were subsequently dismissed by a municipal court judge who cited the cases as frivolous, listen to the words carefully, possible, frivolous litigation. Stacey Marie Ballieu filed for divorce and blah, 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 blah from the case. And once again, became extremely frivolous litigation. Keith Ballieu from September 23 continues through current. He filed more than 25 filings. Keith Ballieu has also filed numerous motions for rejecting judge. So here's what they're doing here. In New Jersey, 7 council members committed a crime, and I was a publisher and I knew about it. There was about 9 black men who one of them shot and killed a young girl. And this is the legal system. I don't want to talk about my story too much. I want to talk about handling the legal system, okay? And the 9 men, they charged each of them with 7 to 9 felonies. One killed the girl, but they charged all the others in a law called accomplice liability, because you got to grab all with one. And the prosecutor charged each of them with 7 to 9 counts. So if you would count 10 men, that would be about 700 charges, right? Because it's carrying a gun, being part of a gang, intent to support and defraud. So one person gets charged with about 7 things. So I did the same thing with the council members, right? 7 council members, they all committed about 8 to 9 offenses, and I just took it from the prosecutor's office. They violated my civil rights, their due process, they were harassing, they were all these other things that are applicable law. But then one judge said, yes, they can be charged. And then when they found out, they grabbed this other guy and says, we want this dismissed because they're elected officials. That's what happened. But they're criminal charges. Now, when you file criminal charges against somebody, you cannot get them on vexatious claims. You can't. It's only civil, and you have to do it 5 times to different people. So you see what lawyers do? They brought up a whole bunch of stuff that didn't matter, doesn't apply. Because if I were to take this before a jury and I said, well, it doesn't apply to criminal proceedings, it doesn't apply to municipal court, it applies to civil proceedings. And so they misquoted the law here to create this nonsense. So when you see this stuff, don't listen to it. They lie. Lawyers lie. And this is one of the biggest law firms that you can ever find in the country. Carrington, Coleman, Sloman, and Blumenthal. I ain't kidding you. And they sent 3 lawyers. Look at that. 3 lawyers. Yeah. After me. I'm not afraid because this is a lie. First of all, you mischaracterized the whole judicial process. This was a municipal case. It was criminal charges and it doesn't apply to fictitious, frivolous litigation. So they're trying to twist it around and this is what they're going to do to you. So don't let them do that to you. This, you know, when you look at this and you say, and if you were a jury, and I would tell you, I said, well, you know, members of the jury, that's actually a municipal court case, and they said it, and it wasn't 200 cases. It was 200 causes for action. That's just my kitty going crazy. So so when somebody filed a charge against you, it's not a case. And so they mischaracterize it as a case. No, it's a cause. They had a gun. They had the gun to intend to kill. They had the gun that was too close to a school. They had the gun where they burnished it in the public. They had they were intending to hurt the public. So that's 5 charges in one case. And so what they're saying is I had all cases. This is what lawyers do. They lie. They lie. They manipulate. They twist. And this is one of the biggest law firms in the country, and they're lying on a document. What they're supposed to say is the first judge authorized the case to go to a grand jury. But then the second judge, for some reason, came along and blocked it because they were elected officials. That's what this is supposed to say. But you see, they're not going to tell you the truth. So when they sue you, they're not going to say the truth. So when you read this, you know what you're going to say? That's a bunch of bull. I didn't do that. That never happened. That's not what I said. You know, so it's going to be that way. So don't back out when they come after you with this stuff. Stand up because you know they're going to lie. Are you the kind of person that's going to sit there and have somebody lie against you and not want to do something or take some kind of action? I hope not. I hope not. But just to fill your spirit, when you get this in the mail, when you're in the middle of a litigation and somebody decides to mess with you, just know that they're lying. They're not here to tell the truth. They're not your friend, okay? They're not here to tell the truth to make you win. They're here to lie, to twist the law, to manipulate the law. It's your job to get up and says, okay, well, since I got all this nice chat GPT and stuff going for me, how about I enter your nonsense in there and see what law I have to defend myself and protect myself. And trust me, enter it, you'll get your answer, you'll get your motion, and you'll get to go back at them. Don't ever run. Anytime you get this stuff, is not a flight situation, is a fight situation. And that's what you got to get there first. Stop letting your spirit and your past experience and what you know about other people losing, you know, get to you. That doesn't apply here. You get one of these, it requires you to get up and fight them. That's it. And it starts right here. So don't run from legal stuff. That's what why Texas Justice Review is here for you, to tell you, you got your rights. And when somebody tried to take that away from your hand, this here is America. No, I know it's changing, but you got to stand strong and you got to stand up and fight for your rights, because you're not in China, you're not in North Korea, you're not in Iran, you're not in Saudi Arabia where you don't have rights. Okay? Some people abuse those rights here, but it's not you. You just got sued. All right? You want to mess with me? Let's see what happens. But I'm going to dig into this case, and you better make sure that when you say 200 cases, it's 200 cases you're talking about. And you better make sure when you said that he filed frivolous complaints, you better make sure that they were frivolous and not based on truth. Because I can get them on that. You said it was frivolous, right? How about we bring those cases up? I know it's about 8 years old. Let's bring it up. So you tell me a council member stopping somebody from speaking at a microphone because they own a newspaper to benefit themselves, that's frivolous? And see, get into that. So don't let somebody take away your rights. When you see the stuff in the mail, it's just literature. It's just literature until you have to answer and go before a judge. But do not ignore this stuff and do not wait till the last minute. Get your stuff together early. Okay? The best way to win a case is to watch the deadlines. And the better way is to not get too close to the deadline, because your emotions are going to get higher when you're not ready and there's a court hearing. Okay? A court hearing is just basically you're just showing up to tell the judge this is not a bunch of nonsense. Okay? There's no 200 cases. There's no frivolous stuff. I can prove it wasn't frivolous. Okay, we're going to have to go through the procedure to prove that. Can you do that? Of course I can. And then they can go stick it. But you got to go through that, because once you get sued and somebody try to make your life a miserable hell, you got to take it back. You got to take the fight to them. Take the fight to them. I just learned that. I'm getting this thing. They sued me. They go back in to try to open up my family court case so they can get a vexatious BS from New York that was years ago, so they can stop me from suing the councilwoman in District 10 in Dallas for lying on applications. See, they do all that stuff. Now, do I get afraid? Oh my gosh, what are they filing now? I do say it, but I say it a different way. I said, okay, what are you filing now? Because I want to deal with you. You're filing something, you're trying to say something. Well, you violated this and you violated that. Okay, let's see if I really violated it. Or you're just trying to abuse the system, because I'm going to say that to the judge, trying to abuse the system, saying I violated this when I didn't. So here's the code, the section code, because don't say ChatGPT gave it to you. That's just a research. Just use that as a research platform. Okay, that's it. Don't take it for illegal advice, even them. Research, then check it back with the Google or whoever, and get your stuff together. But you're in a fight. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hit mentally and emotionally. I went through it. Let me tell you something. I never thought stress would ever bring me to a place where I felt hopeless. Not because of her. I don't give a damn about the nastiness that she was doing. Is that I had to be dragged through the system. When you want to make vows. And God says, and I had to deal with this, God says divorce is a sin. You cannot do it. It's a sin, and it's sin with punishment. And I was fearful of that, but I had somebody who never feared God and decided, I'm just going to do that. I don't care. But I got dragged through the system. And I came out on the side, and I said, you know what? I took my beating, but the next time somebody decides to mess with me judicially, I'm going to learn that stuff. I'm going to put it right back at you. So don't be afraid. Okay, look at this. Go through your stuff. If you're going through something, keep going. Keep going and don't give up. And I know I kind of like, don't give up. I don't care. I don't want this. But you got it. Once you got it in your hand and they crack that whip, you can still let them crack it, or you can just grab it with your own judicial response, wrap it around your hand, and jerk that bastard right into the fire. Don't give up. You keep fighting. Somebody can mess with you in the judicial system, you fight back, because most of the times they are lying, deceiving, manipulating with language. And you just read the language, this is a bunch of BS. But I'm going to address it, that they are liars. This is Serrano. Thanks for watching Texas Justice Review, and bye for now. He's the beacon when your hopes turn low. That's who I know, Keith Baldio. No need for fear, no need for doubt. When the fight's too fierce, he'll sort it out. With a heart of fire and a steady glow, called Serrano, Keith Baldio.